Hi, thank you for joining me for the love reading for November 23rd, 2018. I just want to go ahead and let you know this is a timeless reading, so if you have been attracted to this for whatever reason, go ahead and stay tuned. There might be a message for you, okay? Alrighty, so we're going to be looking at general dynamics, kind of what to expect over the next week in your love life, okay? Pile number 1 is the white opalite. Pile number 2 is the bloodstone. And pile number 3 is the black obsidian, okay? While you guys are making your decision on which pile to pick, I did want to go ahead and let you guys know if there's anything that you want to know about me, it should be in the description. You'll see timestamps there. You'll see my contact information about private readings, and information about other ways that you can support the channel and things like that, okay? I have been telling you guys I'm on a vacation, but up until now I haven't revealed where I am. I wanted to let you guys know that me and my family went to Ireland, and that's where I am right now. And we're from the States, and yeah, so it's pretty cool, right? But let's go ahead and get back to the reading. And the reason I'm mentioning it now is that I'm going to be back in the States very soon. So, those of you who want to make an order, just know that turnaround rate will be a lot quicker now, okay? So yeah, let's get back to the reading though, because we've got, these 3 piles, and that's what you guys are here for, right? So I just wanted to go ahead and let you know, if you have not picked your pile, go ahead and pause the video, because I'm about to start with pile number 1, okay? So let's move pile number 2 and pile number 3 and see what's going to go on this week for you guys that pick the white heart, the white opalite heart, okay? Okay, so I'm using a different tarot deck than I usually do. This is called the Druidcraft Tarot. It's actually my favorite tarot deck. I connect better with the Tarot of Pagan Cats, which is why I use it all the time, but the Druidcraft Tarot is, I would very strongly recommend it. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on this side. On this side, we've got the 7 of Wands. Somebody's going to feel like a little bit defensive. I really feel like that's more going to be on the side of your partner than you. But just know that whoever you have in your heart's going to be feeling like they didn't do a good job somewhere, and it's going to be kind of like a touchy subject. So kind of keep that in mind. Just know that whatever, like if they've really messed up bad, know that whatever you say to them about it, as you're expressing your feelings about it and your thoughts about it and all of that, it's not anything like how bad they already feel. And then some of you guys might just be dealing with somebody who's just kind of messed up a little bit, or who's maybe embarrassed about something, that kind of thing. I just get defensiveness, okay? And the thing about this defensiveness that's really important to know is that it's based on some kind of lie that they've told themselves. It's based on something like, oh, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not a good person, or I'm not smart, or something that's just flat out obviously not true. It would be somebody saying something like, I'm boring, and it's like you think they're the most interesting person in the world, it's like, using words like that. So just kind of keep that in mind, so that you can either be there to support them, or so that you can be very more gentle in the way that you express any kind of issues that you're going to have this week. I'm not seeing anything to really indicate a whole lot of issues though. So let's move on to the Princess of Swords. You're going to find, I really feel like this is talking about the viewers more than the person that they're asking about. The Princess of Swords, you're going to find yourself, really kind of getting into your head and doing some things that are less I don't know, like less dreamy and less abstract and more like, okay, I'm going to get in my mind. I'm going to figure out some strategizing. We're going to be logical. We're going to be looking at facts, you know, that kind of thing. It's going to be kind of, it would be something that if you were to do it all the time, you would be a lot more dry than you are right now. You would be a lot more kind of maybe even sharp would be a good word. I mean, I know it's a sword and swords are sharp, but I just mean like, you know, sharp, witty, but also kind of dry and even maybe even cold. So just kind of keep in mind that you're going to be kind of disconnected from your heart this week. And knowing that, you know, again, will help you interact with your person a little bit better. And then we've got the Two of Pentacles. It's always talking about choices. It's always talking about two things that are just kind of going around and around in your head. I think this is going to have a lot of interpretations depending on the viewer, okay? For some of you guys, this is about circular thinking. You're just thinking and thinking and thinking, and you've just got to find a way to find something new. And my suggestion to you, if you're trying to figure out something new, don't think about the thoughts that you're having or the feelings that you're having. Where is the belief coming from about whatever it is that you're thinking? Because if you change the belief, then you'll be able to change the thoughts and the feelings, or at least you'll be able to see something new. So that's what I would recommend for that. Or just getting somebody else's perspective on a similar issue that you're having. I also think that for some of you, you're going to be facing a choice, and that would be in love. And that choice is going to be more like between two people. There's a person that you're thinking about, and that's going to be one of them, but then there's going to be another person. I don't feel like it's an ex. I feel like it's a different situation. I'm going to go ahead and say, I think that like 90% of you aren't going to end up going with the second option, okay? But just know that there's going to be a choice, and it's going to feel a little overwhelming and a little bit weird, okay? And then the rest of you guys, it's just about, you're going to be having so many things to do around this time of the year, that kind of thing, that you're finding that you're not spending as much time with the person that you're you have on your heart right now. And that's okay. Just know, again, when you're really in your head, when you're really distracted and that kind of thing, and when they're feeling a little emotionally vulnerable and everything, just know that can create a disconnect. And in order to avoid that, make sure that you're checking in on them. Just find out how they're doing. You can just be like, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? That kind of thing. Right? Another thing you'll notice is that your person is going to be putting in a lot more effort into the relationship. So if you've been waiting for this person to become more consistent, if you're waiting for this person to become more easy to read, that kind of thing, you're going to start seeing you're going to not only see some effort, so that's great because it's going to bring it to the concrete. But also, you're going to be able to anticipate what they're going to do next, that kind of thing. However, there's going to be a communication thing. I feel like you're the one that's seeking the truth. You're in your head. You're wanting to gain knowledge. You're wanting to, shed light on something. You might feel kind of probing and finding out if maybe there's something that they're hiding from you or whatever. I'm not getting that anybody's hiding anything, but you might be like, well, why do you feel that way? Or why do you think that? And that might turn into a discussion, right? You're going to be looking for what's behind, behavior. Okay. And that might not just be in relationships. It might be in a lot of things. You might be just in a theme right now where you're looking at, well, what's behind this action? What's behind this piece of knowledge that I have, and that kind of thing. And your person's going to not be able to answer you, okay? So sometimes I'll ask my partner, hey, so how do you feel about this thing? And it's always hard for me to understand when he says, oh, I don't know, or well, and then he'll tell me how he thinks about it, but he won't even ever mention a feeling. It's really hard for me to understand how a person can process something that for me is so obviously on an emotional level, without connecting to the emotions at all, right? It could be something like for example, I might be talking to my partner about what do you think about the way our daughter's been feeling about the new clothes that we got her and how people are responding to her at school. And he might say, well, I think it was a good deal. You know, I think that we shopped well and we got a good deal on shirts or something instead of, you know, maybe talking about how, you know, oh, well, her friends are jealous or, you know, whatever that is. The refusing to see is kind of like missing the mark when you're trying to have a discussion. Know that that's going to be more on your partner's side. I mean, when there's a disconnect and a miscommunication, it's on both of you, but it's like your partner's just not going to get where you're trying to come from. You can try to be more specific about that, but it just feels like that disconnect's going to be going on this week. And even though you're seeing some dedicated effort, even though, you know, I mean, in general, this is good. He or she, I feel so much masculine energy with this one. He or she is just going to be a little off. Okay. Just know that that's, you know, it's not a reflection of where your relationship's going. It's going on just this week. It's not going to be a forever thing. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, those of you who picked the Bloodstone, we're going to go ahead and see what is going to go on for you this week in love. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Some of you guys are going to need to take a trip. It might not be that far, but there's going to be a trip. There's also like the Two of Wands, and twos can also mean coupling, so like coming together, really passionate, that kind of thing. But generally the Two of Wands refers to some kind of distance or planning a trip, that kind of thing. So you might want to just kind of think about that if you're in a long distance situation, that this is confirming that you picked the right card. I really think that for a lot of you, this is talking about coming together in a really passionate way, though. So kind of keep that in mind. You've got the Six of Wands, which is great because you're feeling successful. You're really proud of yourself. You're really proud of the relationship. It might be something where you're the person that you've got on your heart is doing something that you really appreciate and that you really like. Or you might feel like bragging about your person. Maybe they've accomplished something and you're just feeling like you want to dote on them and all of that kind of stuff. So this is positive. There's going to be some kind of big success, or at least something that's going to, you know, be important to you guys, okay? And then we've got the Nine of Pentacles. It's like your work is done. You can rest now, okay? This is a wish fulfillment card too. Nines are always talking about that. It's like you're about to get everything that you want, okay? So no worries. You don't have to worry about that. You're in control right now. You're very much in control. I would say, you know, definitely don't abuse it. I wouldn't ever condone that, but this would be a time that if you feel like you want to kind of manipulate the situation just a little bit in your favor, this would be the time that would be ripe for that, okay? I do want to mention about sixes. Sixes speak to stability, so I just wanted to kind of throw that out too, since I was talking about the 9 and the 2. Okay, so you've got the Lovers, so this is good. This kind of goes with this Two of Wands, with coupling and coming together, really passionate and that kind of thing. You guys are great. You're well matched. If you guys haven't started a relationship yet, this is going to end up in some kind of relationship that's very, very positive. It definitely has good energy. We've even got new vitality. So I'm telling you, I'm just getting a lot of sexual energy between the two of you, but I'm also getting balance. Okay. And I think that when we look at the Lovers card, and even when we look at the Two of Wands, there's like a very clear balance in each each one of these pictures. So yeah, there's going to be a balancing between the masculine and the feminine. You'll find that what you give, you get back. There's no feeling that anybody's needs are wanting right now. Or if you're not getting your needs met 100%, they're also not getting their needs met. It's like there's a balance in the energy that you're giving and receiving from one another. So yeah, I mean, this really looks good. I mean, I would say if you're not at a point right now where you want to be intimate, or if you want to kind of go a little bit slow on that aspect of the relationship, just know that feeling is going to be really strong this week. And because of that, you might want to kind of maybe get a little bit on guard so that you can kind of plan how you're going to respond to that if that's not something that you're interested in. But yeah, I mean, really success. You're about to get something that you want. You've worked really hard. Now's the time to rest. Vitality, balance, love. I mean, it's all there. You guys are doing really, really great. Keep doing what you're doing too, because I mean, I really don't have any advice, because it's so great. That's how good it is. Hi, pile 3. Those of you guys who picked the third pile, the black opalite. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with you guys. All right, some of you guys might be thinking about somebody who's significantly older or significantly younger than you. We've got the King and the Princess of Wands, very fiery energy, okay? Kind of dramatic. You guys might kind of find that it's kind of like a roller coaster right now this week. And then we've got the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is kind of about fantasizing, kind of about daydreaming. It can warn not to be too obsessed. But it's so much milder than what would be like a serious obsession, that it's kind of like, I almost don't want to even say that, but just know that, this person's going to be in your thoughts and on your heart a lot this week. Okay. And again, I always like to warn about, don't neglect all the other things, while this is going on. The Four of Cups seems to come up a lot in my reads. I just also, oh, excuse me. I just also want to mention that when you've got the King of Wands and the Princess of Wands, or you've got the King and the Queen, it's like you've got a matching pair. You've got two people that are, that are in the same suit, and they're in the same mind. So you're going to find that you're very like-minded with the person that you're thinking about. And you'll be having some good conversations if you're talking and that kind of thing. Again, this age difference, it might just be a mental age. It might just be that one of you is just really childish, or one of you is maybe inexperienced, that kind of thing. I don't feel like it's going to be like a problem. I'm not seeing this as a problem. I'm just seeing it as, this is a fact. This is going on, and that's it. Those of you who there isn't a big age difference, and there isn't a big difference between your maturity levels and your experience levels, you'll just find that the feminine and masculine is really, really strongly split. Okay. The masculine of the two of you, whether you're in a same-sex relationship or whether you're in a male-female relationship, the masculine energy is a lot stronger and very masculine, and the feminine energy is a lot more submissive and very feminine. So, just kind of keep that in mind. We've also got some like manifesting that you guys are doing. This is the Magician in a traditional deck. So you're bringing a lot of like what you want. So like this daydreaming that you're doing, you're creating something by doing that. So again, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. I think that this is good. Just know that as you're daydreaming, as this person's on your head and in your heart, just think about like, what can I do to bring this to reality? Because that's the big question. Okay. You're going to find that everything's really balanced between giving and receiving. You're going to find that what you put out, you're getting back. and all of that kind of thing. Unfortunately, this kind of does have like a double-edged sword, because you'll notice that if you're not getting a whole bunch back, you're not going to be feeling like giving it much. So just know that the balance between giving and receiving is going to be there. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be getting all of your needs met. It just means that they're going to match you and you're going to match them, okay? And then we've got this Darkest Fears card. What's interesting about this card for me, it's always been really interesting for me, is that it's like, in most traditional decks, you've got a person who has just woken up from a nightmare, and it's like all of their fears are right there in front of them. And so it's like a really scary card to get. It tends to have very provocative imagery on it. And the imagery is kind of scary looking, you know. But the thing about this Darkest Fears thing is that that's what they are. It's just fear. It's not reality. It's not a representation of reality. The person had a nightmare. While dreams can be very similar to reality, when one wakes from a nightmare in the middle of the night, and in the pictures, the person's usually depicted crying about it, okay? They're weeping. That's how bad this nightmare's been. It's like, that's not reality. They've woken up to the reality of the situation, but they still have those fears. They still have that terror that they were experiencing in their dreams. Just know that one or both of you is kind of dwelling on some of those fears, and those fears aren't based on reality. So, you know, while it's very, very healthy to keep in mind, you know, how, I mean, I hate putting it this way, but like kind of like how things can go wrong, you know, preparing, having contingency plans, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's really important, but it's also important to not let that rule you, okay? So yeah, be prepared. And yeah, you know, think things through and think about some of that heavy stuff, but also know that, you know, given everything else that I'm getting around you guys are doing pretty good, okay? And there isn't anything to be afraid of in this situation. I mean, there's nothing obvious to be afraid of in this situation. It looks very positive. You guys are well matched. It's manifesting right now, and I really feel like this is going to be a positive thing for you guys, okay? So just kind of keep in mind doing some exercises to try to keep that fear at bay, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of my video. I just want to tell you I really, really appreciate all of the awesome comments, the support, all of the great subscriptions that I'm getting and everything. You guys are so awesome. I really feel like I have some of the best viewers out there. And another thing I just have to say, because it strikes me so much. You guys, when you're leaving those comments, there's so much positivity in what you're saying, and you interact with each other so nicely. I just really want to thank you guys for being so compassionate towards one another and being so positive. It's great. I really, really enjoy the community that we're building together. And yeah, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate that, guys. Okay? I'm going to be home soon, so I'll be able to start filling those orders real quickly, okay?